Hi, everybody. It's Tom and Tom. We're back yet again.
I love your DJ voice for these videos. It's like, hello.
Yes,
It's like,
I am a Specs Howard School of Broadcast Arts graduate.
there we go. That explains. I'm a graduate of the School of Electrical and Computer Engineering, so it's very
That's
different.
much better than what I got. Well, we are here today, and we were a little at a loss for a topic. So we just so you know, if you're watching this video and it's the first one you've watched, go watch the other ones too, because they're all off the cuff. Like a lot of people write scripts and prepare and have questions and stuff. We're just talking off the cuff from our vast experience in this realm. And we're going to do so again today. And the topic is the worst teammate ever. Now I know your mind is reeling. You're like, oh my God, I got a guy. Um, I'm going to start off because Tom said I could.
I got a guy.
Um, maybe, and I have to like be careful. I don't want to like identify anybody because that's just not what this is about.
It's Doug Smith,
Right, it's him.
2742 Wayward Lane.
That's right. Just note in the comment if you've worked with him too, you know. but this guy, I will say this. I was working at a university. Now, those of you who have worked in the public sector, you know it's a different world. Like, as near as I can tell, they don't let go of people because they're not up to snuff in the public sector. Like if you get in, you're pretty much in. In fact, you're far more likely to get fired for being exceptional because it's disruptive and nobody wants that.
That's a whole conversation as to why we like working with smaller companies. We won't even go there.
But anyway, I was on an agile team. It was somewhat of an experiment in a software development group at the university that they would try to learn to move fast. In fact, they sent people to do a tour at Menlo Innovations, which of course you're a co-founder of. So they learned a lot of tricks about. We did pairing and stuff that a lot of companies didn't do at the time. Maybe they still don't. I don't know. But I had a guy on the team who just was as thin skinned as a jellyfish. Like he didn't take much to bruise. And my role was to kind of push people a little to get out of their comfort zone and learn to do things a different way. And he and I just really would butt heads because as soon as I would propose something that wasn't the way they'd always done it, he would just be like, he could not cope. And I can't tell you how many times the team was in a room together and we would all be talking about something and I could see him getting redder and redder. And maybe he would say something and we would have a discussion, or maybe he would just get up and leave. And I spent a good portion of my time like talking him down and like hearing him out and asking him questions and get him to like be calm and rational after his emotional outburst. And it's a good example of why we have a whole part in the book about hiring for EQ. Because if you have people like that on the team, you're always going to be tiptoeing around. You're going to have a team of ballerinas trying to be delicate and non disruptive.
I got somebody worse.
Oh, how do you know I didn't save the best for last? I guess I said I didn't, but I don't know.
I was working with a team of Agile coaches at a big company where they'd brought in a bunch of Agile coaches that they had considered, uh, even as I say this, by the way, two names pop in. It's like, oh, which one do I want to do? Two names, two big
Choices.
companies. I'm setting it up with one, and I'm like, yeah, you ran into this in the other one in my brain. But I'm going to do the fun one, the extra fun one. Running a bunch of really exceptional Agile coaches because they were high end, expensive coaches. They were brought in. A lot of them were brought in, including myself, because the other people were there or they'd worked with them. So it's like, and I've had this, come here because so and so is going to be working. It's like I know them and I've heard their conference. I would love to work with them. And so we were a really great group of coaches working on this project. And a person joined the team and was really sort of responsible for the team from the company. I'll call her Poppy. And so Poppy's surrounded by what's really a group of maybe some of the world's best technical and process-oriented Agile coaches and methodologists. And she's on the team. And at a certain point, she keeps getting exceptionally bureaucratic. It's like, report exactly how many classes that we ran and report how many people we trained. I've literally heard this described, by the way, as an anti-pattern for Agile coaches and organizations. When you want to, how many people we trained, how many classes we ran, those are the statistics that show your success. Is considered by real Agile coaches to be an anti-pattern. Maybe something you want to talk, maybe something you want to know amongst yourselves, but isn't actually an indication of success. And of course, the Agile coaches who were there began to leave in part because she was on the team and, managing the team, leading the team. And one day, and they were leaving, they were quitting.
Oh no.
Okay, so clever people exit teams when they realize they don't want to be on them and they have other options. And I was hanging out because I was like, this is kind of too fun. And I was observing, watching it. He came to me one day and said the most honest thing I'd ever heard in a big corporate environment by someone involved in Agile coaching. Like, Tom, what's with all of these people? Why are they so difficult? Why are they leaving? She's like, it's just a fucking job. And she said the word in a business context. And I love that she said the word. And that's why I said it here, because I don't tend to swear on these. The word is really freaking important.
You might have just dropped the first F-bomb on this podcast ever.
And I'm quoting Poppy. And I was like, the moment she said it, I'm like, that is such a gift to me. Because what she said is, I'm not here because of mission. I'm not here because of vision. I'm not here because of values. I'm here to collect a paycheck. And that's all I'm really interested in.
Right.
And that to me is the worst type of team member I can work with. At least if I'm working with a group of Agile coaches whom at their heart are all driven by a deep fundamental, the ones that are good anyway are driven by a deep fundamental passion about touching humans, about making the workplace more humane, about being more productive, but really about nurturing the human soul as part of how they do that.
Like they may have been excited about the paycheck during the initial negotiations for the job. But once they get it, it's like, that's done, right?
Yeah.
We're moving on to like what we actually care about.
So that And of course, I ended up destroying the whole team, and everyone who was really highly capable left.
Yeah, the best people always leave first. Why?
Yes,
They have
I
more
was not the first
options.
to leave. I was more amused. Can
Right.
in one thing in my defense, because I was fairly early on in this gig, and I was like, this probably isn't going to be successful. But now I'm going to define winning in a different way. I want to be the last person to leave the team. By the way, that difference between the first person leaving and the last person leaving was probably only about 45 days. But I'm like, I'm going to define winning in a different way. And it was in the midst of that and I've been on other projects where I've seen other projects, well, not even around agile coaching, where someone comes in, messes up the team, and the team just disappears. Highly skilled people go find better or other work.
Right. That's what happens.
So I've seen that a lot of times. But nothing was ever that clear.
Right. Like the other one that I was going to offer, and I'm going to be brief about it because I want to keep this podcast reasonably short. I think we've already passed short, so I'm going for reasonably short now. Is a guy that's kind of at the other end of the spectrum. He was the proverbial rock star on the team, and he was smarter than everyone else. In fact, I would go as far as to say that everybody else, there was one other guy, but he was a contractor that we had temporarily on the team. But other than that guy, everyone else on the team, including me, was an idiot. And a waste of skin, probably. But I don't know if he ever said that out loud, but you could feel it.
But he said it.
and he built a critical part of our infrastructure. And he was the only one that really understood it. And it took me months to get him to start showing somebody else what to do, how to add code to this thing. And he was always annoyed. And one time this is a great story. One time we were all reflecting on the work we had done in one of our ceremonies. And I asked for people to come up with some really outlandish ideas that are just crazy ideas that no one would ever do. And the idea is that maybe we could look at those crazy ideas and find something good in there that we could do. And
right.
And
a brainstorming technique.
This guy said, "Get rid of the team." And I knew he was just being snarky. But I started going through it. I'm like, well, that's actually an interesting idea. What if we didn't exist? What would because we were a team that we built infrastructure for deployment. So the other teams used what we built to deploy their apps. So I'm like, what if we didn't exist? What would that look like? And I could see him just now he's upset. Because I took his idea seriously.
You're going to riff on the idea. Because you even knew, even if he's saying it sarcastically, there's something underneath that may actually be worth exploring.
Right. Mm-hmm. And the funny thing is, we actually came up with a model where we all dispersed into other teams and took what we do and embedded it into all the other teams where they could take over and they would have one of us on at least some of those teams to help with things. And then the teams that are using the tools would be closer to driving the change of the product. I actually thought it was a pretty good idea. They
You
were
were
too
that close to inventing the dojo idea,
yeah,
right? Like
they were too chicken to do it. I'm like,
they were
if you guys want to do this, I'll go send it up the flagpole. We'll get it done, you know. And they, oh no.
Mm, I love it. I love it. I would go one more story, but we'll keep it short. I like the techniques. What we're continually saying in all these stories, and vibe is a big word now, and I'm big on vibration because I worked for a red light company for a while, red and infrared lights. I understand the nature of vibration for healing even. And I'm like, these folks aren't vibrating with the rest of the team.
Yeah, that's a really
Right.
great way of looking at it.
In my original book on ceremony, I'm like, look, you either getting trained in the ceremony, you get caught up and you experience it together, and you may even experience the state of flow, or you're not. And if you can never do that with your team, it's not a good. You're not going to enjoy working on this team, and it's not going to be a good fit.
In fact, I think we should stop calling it paired programming and call it vibe programming or vibe coding.
Vibe programming. I think that word already has a different meaning.
All right, too late. That ship has sailed. Well, speaking of ships that have sailed, I
The
think
ship has sailed.
we're going to put an end to this podcast right about now. But before we go, as is our practice, we'd like to remind you that if you have a horror story about a teammate that you'd like to share with us in the comments below, please add that. And then please click that subscribe button, because if you don't, no one will see these great videos. It's all down to you. You got to do it. And if you want to talk to us, we're here. We're happy to chat. We're happy to help you with any challenges you're facing. Just reach out through our website, beintentional.biz. And we'll see you soon.
Bye.